This afternoon, a stunning rejection of Donald Trump's redistricting zeal by Senate Republicans in South Carolina. They joined Democrats there to strike down their own party's measure to advance a map that likely would have squeezed out the state's only Democratic-leaning district. That seat is represented by Congressman Jim Clyburn, who surged polling locations today with other Democrats on the first day of early voting, who were there standing on very, very long lines before that GOP rejection today and didn't even know if that primary ballot that they cast would count. Here's what Congressman Clyburn has said about the effort.
To the 29% of African Americans in South Carolina, the 43% of Democratic voters in South Carolina, irrespective of your presence, you are not deserving of a single member of Congress of the 7 that we have. This White House says, to hell with the process. To hell with the Constitution.
Shame, shame.
Just do what we want done. And that's what has us here today.
Joining our coverage, political analyst, the former Senator Claire McCaskill is here. Ben's still with me. So, Claire, this is significant, and this counts as sort of a man bites dog story because Republicans did not fall in line. Just talk about, A, why that's news, and B, what that means.
Well, first of all, they realized that if they carve this district up, some of the other districts become less certain for the Republican Party. I mean, that's what's being left out of this conversation too often on redistricting. When you carve up a heavily Democratic district, those Democrats go somewhere. They don't disappear. They go into districts where now they have a bigger piece of the pie. And yeah, if Trump wins a district by 25 or 30, then they can afford to give up 5 or 6 points. But when Trump wins a district by 10 and you push more Democrats into that district, then you've got a problem. And they also realized by the number of people who were showing up to vote today, they did a gut check, those Republican members of the Senate in South Carolina. And they said, you know what? Well, if we do this, it is going to be very politically unpopular in South Carolina. They knew it wasn't right. They knew it wasn't the right thing to do. So, good on them for having the guts to do it, because obviously Trump has wreaked vengeance on a number of people who have defied him. And I'm sure some of them will now be on his list.
Claire, let me play some of those South Carolina voters today with my colleague, Alex Tabbitt.
This current administration has already demonstrated that they are willing to strip rights and privileges that we have as citizens for their own personal gain. So it's important that I'm here in order to make sure I'm on the right side of history and my vote is cast to demonstrate that I do not agree with what's happening.
Yesterday, I talked to the Republican state representative who was behind this map, one of the co-sponsors. He told me race had nothing to do with this.
I'm sure he did. They always say that. We know better. We live it every day. Every day. So, it's easy for someone to say that who doesn't live it, but we live that every day.
Voters are very smart, Claire, and they always figure out what's going on. And the turnout that we've seen in every election that's happened since Donald Trump returned to the presidency tells an incredible story of rejection of every facet of his agenda.
And I do think that those voters were speaking truth for a whole lot of Americans. I don't think the Republican Party fully realizes the strength of the Black vote in the United States of America. And they underestimate how much they get what's going on. I mean, you don't wipe out Emanuel Cleaver and Jim Clyburn and try to take out some of the most senior and respected Black political leaders in this country. You don't wipe out their districts and think people aren't going to figure out what you're doing. I mean, it's just insulting to those Black voters. It's insulting to those Black office holders. And it's certainly insulting to the party that I belong to, which is proud to work hard and gain the trust and support of Black voters. So I do think that we will see turnout this year at a level we've not seen for midterms in a long time, just because of what they're trying to do.